It's flu season, so our sponsors at UBMD Primary Care have information on how you can protect yourself and your family against the virus. Joining me now with more are primary care physicians Dr. Stephen Doulis and Dr. Rashad Ali. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, so first off, we're talking about flu season. Tell us about the importance of getting the flu vaccine and why it's important for people to get vaccinated.
Sure. It's very important to get the flu vaccine. We see a lot of folks who are a little bit hesitant to get the vaccine, and it's our job as primary care doctors to try to, educate and convince them of how important this is. It helps to, number one, cut down your risk of contracting the flu. And secondly, even if you do get it, your odds of having a severe illness or having significant complications from the flu are quite a bit lessened just by virtue of having the protection from having gotten the vaccine.
And actually, just to build on what Dr. Folis was saying, it's highly effective and very safe. So the number that we need to prevent one case is somewhere in about 1 to 71 or so. For ages 65 and up, that benefit actually increases. So for every 29 or so people that we get vaccinated, we can prevent one case.
Okay.
And then in our children, the child population, it's actually more like 1 in 5.
Oh, okay. That's
and
good.
then when we weigh that against the risks of severe adverse effects, some exceedingly rare to the point where it's not really measurable. But if we talk about things like local reactions, a little bit of soreness, then more like 1 in 125. But it drastically reduces illness severity, duration, hospitalization, length of stay, and it protects you and everyone around you.
Can you explain to our viewers kind of how the flu shot works? There's a lot of ideas of what it is and what's actually happening in your body.
So the flu shot actually gives your body a preview of what we suspect is going to be the predominant strains. There's actually many different strains of flu, and the sugars on them that your body recognizes are a little bit different. So what they do is they start studying to see what the ones that are going to circulate are, and then they make their recommendations. This happens in the springtime, and so the vaccine would hopefully be ready for the flu season. This year it is trivalent, which means that it covers against 3 different strains. So that is 2 flu A and 1 flu B. So you get that preview. The preview is a little bit different depending on how they make it. So we have some where it's basically heat killed, so the way that you'd cook something on the oven or stovetop. We have some where they're made through culture. So, and then there's some where they add a little extra stuff to mount a more effective response, because when we talk about people's immune systems not responding as well, sometimes you need a little bit more to trigger that response.
Who should get vaccinated?
Everyone 6 months and up should get the vaccine. Now, it's especially important for certain groups. Young children are particularly at risk for developing serious illnesses and complications from the flu. Older adults, likewise, people over the age of 65. Not that you're old at the age of 65, but that's sort of the cutoff where we say it's particularly important also to get the flu shot. People who have other chronic health conditions, heart problems, lung disease, cancers, who have a suppressed immune system. These are all folks who should really get the vaccine, because it'll give them the protection they need to avoid those significant complications that can arise from getting the flu.
Does it cost to get a flu shot, and is it affordable if so?
It's very affordable. Oftentimes it's covered by insurance. You just go to the pharmacy, give them your insurance card, they give you the vaccination. Likewise, it's usually always offered at your doctor's appointments this time of year, from usually the fall through even early springtime. It's offered. So it's widely accessible, very affordable for folks to get, and we encourage all of our patients to do so.
And actually, there is also a misconception that you can get sick from the flu shot. And I would like to clarify there's not anything that can actually get you sick in the flu shot. So there are little fragments that your body will recognize, so that if it encounters the actual flu later on, it can protect against that. And so there is something called a live attenuated. They actually modify it so it only reproduces in the nose, so it actually can't physically cause infections in the lungs where it needs to actually go to reproduce. So I know that's a big misconception, but it does not make you sick.
Alrighty, Dr. Ashad and Dr. Stephen, thank you so much for coming in and sharing more about this. Viewers, if you'd like to learn more about flu vaccine recommendations, just visit our sponsors at ubmdprimarycare.com and learn more about this flu season. You can visit the CDC's website at the CDC link on your screen.